is eating 10,000 calories a day. After all, guy 6'3", 320 pounds, had to bulk up, put on the mass to win that World's Strongest Man title. No. Coach Greg, and in today's video, first there was C-Bum, and now there's Mitchell Hooper. That's right, fellow Canadian just won the World's Strongest Man competition. And so, what's in the water in Ontario? Michael Hooper, at only 27 years of age, guy used to be a marathon runner. Said, I don't want a marathon runner. I think I'm going to powerlift now. And in 1 year, guys deadlifted over 950 pounds. It's 435 kilograms. Says, yeah, that was fun. Now I'm going to try strongman. And 2 years later, guy's the world's strongest man. And so he proved everyone wrong, including Eddie Hall. Never thought this guy could win. I mean, after all, he's only 6'3", 320 pounds. For strongman competitors, that's a very small guy. But the guy not only won, he dominated. The guy won 3/4 of the events, and the ones he did win almost always got second. And so, what is his secrets? What is he doing? How is he so strong? And so perhaps it's the mustache. Guy used to not have a mustache, grew a mustache. Probably a fan of Chris Bumstead. How could he not be? He's a fellow Canadian from Ontario. And so, since getting the stash, he's now the Arnold Classic Strongman champion and the world's strongest man. Not only that, guy's actually intelligent. He studied kinesiology, got his master's. Sound familiar? So what would happen if Eddie Hall, Chris Bumstead, and a marathon runner all had a baby? Well, this is what would happen. Michael Hooper. And so just days before the World's Strongest Man, he's practicing his dancing skills. That's right, dancing, like Dirty Dancing with Flex Lewis. You know Flex Lewis, 7-time 212 Olympic champion. And so he's dirty dancing with Flex Lewis. You've seen the video. And he's just playing around, having a great time. And so he made a video. How does he eat? What are his secrets as he prepares for the World's Strongest Man competition? And so the night before the competition, well, you gotta drink your beer. I'm not making this shit up. The guy literally drinking beer. Not a small beer, massive 50-ounce beer. Says it helps him go to sleep, calms the nerves, help him to relax. And so did this guy win the genetic lottery or what? Reminds me of Chris Bumstead, only more talented in various sports. And so an avid golfer playing football, but didn't really like it, excelled at it, played in university, but it wasn't that fun. And so he goes from sport to sport.
Please focus on the content of what I'm eating rather than the actual eating process, which I find quite personal. I'd prefer to release a masturbation video over an eating video, but that'll come later. That'll come tomorrow.
And so apparently what he eats is very personal. He doesn't like showing people eat, perhaps because the food gets stuck in the mustache. He's just embarrassing. He'd rather, in fact, show a masturbation video than what he eats. Well, you can. It's called OnlyFans. Imagine Michael Hooper on OnlyFans.
It's so disgusting. Why would you say that?
You've loved him in the past.
Oh my God, that's enough.
And so his missus is like, why did you say that? It's so embarrassing. Reminds me of every time I open my mouth. Allie say, why did you say that? And so we don't need to hear that, but if you want to, please set up an OnlyFans.
Alcohol before competing is scientifically not what you should be doing. But if that helps you sleep better, that's going to be a more positive outcome than sleeping poorly and not drinking.
So he drinks beer before every event. He says, look, if you can sleep, it's way better than not sleeping. Sounds like when I gave my advice on smoking that there stuff that's legal in Canada. I'd rather actually get to sleep and not toss and turn all night. But hey, I suffer from insomnia. Perhaps it's not the best option for you. And he says, based on the science, you probably shouldn't drink, but hey, it works for me. And so, don't copy what I'm doing, but I'm going to keep doing it and keep winning the World's Strongest Man.
Okay, so for my hardcore strongman followers, this, in Western culture, is called a salad.
I mean, it's funny because how many strongman competitors, raise your hand if you eat salads? I don't see many hands up. But this guy, he actually knows what he's talking about. Remember, he has his master's, he studied kinesiology, science. He understands the human body and how it works. And last I checked, eating a salad, it's actually healthy. He won the Strongest Man competition. And so he's teaching all there, this is what a salad is. You know, if you compete in strongman, you probably don't know what a salad is, and I suggest you eat it.
This is precisely why I don't do food videos. This is stuff that everyone eats. It's not that complicated. It's not that interesting.
And so everyone in the world seems to do food videos. Your strongman competitors, bodybuilders, the day in the life, what I eat in a day, post-contest, pre-contest, bulking up, cutting. Everyone does eating videos. He doesn't like them. He's like, it's not that complicated. I just eat. I eat from all 4 food groups, and I eat normal food that you all have eaten. You want to watch me eat? How boring is this? It's a salad, it's a steak, it's a potato, it's freaking cheese, it's whatever I want. And does it have a dessert? Sure, I just eat. And is he force feeding? Is he eating 10,000 calories a day after all? Guy 6'3", 320 pounds, had to bulk up, put on the mass to win that World's Strongest Man title. No, 5,500 calories a day. That is all he eats. And so do you really think that Hugh Jackman had 8,000 calories when the world's strongest man to bulk up at 5,500? But no, Hugh Jackman, he needed 8,000 calories to get shredded for his role as a freaking Wolverine. Are you serious? And so stop listening to the guys who say, I get up early before the birds eat the worms, I train 3 times a day for at least 2 hours a session, and I eat the most amount of food possible, and that's why I look friggin' shredded. How is that possible? Think of it. This is an athlete. The guy used to run marathons. Who would have a better metabolism than this guy? He's a world champion strongman competitor, huge, a freaking phenom athlete, doing marathons. And this is all he eats.
It's just also disappointingly ordinary. But I hope that that's the way that the sport goes, because then participation levels can go up if you don't have the perception that you have to eat 10,000 calories a day to be good.
And so he wants more people to compete in strongman. He hates the fact that people think you need to force feed, eat 10,000 calories a day, and get big and fat and unhealthy in order to compete in strongman.
I know what my standard meals are, how many calories they are. There's certain things I eat every day, non-negotiable. The local sandwich from Homestead. If you know, you know.
I thought he was talking about Chris Bumstead, but it's the Homestead.
What are 1 or 2 staples that you would say that you eat on like a daily basis?
Protein powder from Perfect Sports and the sandwich from Homestead.
And so imagine this. He won the World's Strongest Man and he doesn't even use Coach Greg's GO2 Max. Imagine how much he would win by. He'd probably win more titles than even Chris Bumstead would win in the Mr. Olympia. And so if you're doing marathons and training hard in the gym, imagine the benefits you'd get from taking NMN, which is the main ingredient in GO2 Max. And no, it's not the placebo effect. I'm still waiting for Jeff Nippert and others to make a video talking about this, but they haven't yet. I can't wait for them to say, wow, it actually works. Greg was right all along. People be focusing on testosterone when this is way better. Human, double-blind clinical studies showing how effective it is. What are you waiting for? Click the link in the description, code Greg, 10% off. And how long before people show this guy and say, this is Chris Bumstead in 5 years with a dad bod? The guy's 6'3", has a mustache, he's bald. Chris losing his hair. When Chris loses all his hair, is he in fact going to look like Michael Hooper? Once Chris Bumstead retires, perhaps he'll convert to strongman or powerlifting. Will he in fact be the identical twin to Michael Hooper?
Your go-to dessert.
Any form of ice cream that's vanilla based.
And he literally has the same favorite dessert as Coach Greg, a vanilla based ice cream. That's gotta be my favorite. Remember, this guy talks the talk and walks the walk. You're thinking, yeah, he's slightly overweight. Yeah, but he's doing that for a purpose, to win the World's Strongest Man competition. This guy, when he was younger, was 308 pounds, 140 kilograms. Decided to enter a men's physique competition. You think he can't do it all? He dieted down, lost 50 kilograms, made it down to 90 kg, that's 198 pounds, was shredded on stage, competing in men's physique. And so his own practice as a kinesiologist, he wants to experience all kinds of sports. So he tried it all. He wants to know, what is it like? I'll do a men's physique show, I'll run marathons, I'll compete in powerlifting, I'll compete and win the World's Strongest Man. You know, I'll just experience it all. And so imagine this, he lost 110 pounds to compete, but the guy loves to eat. He wasn't made to be shredded. His genetics, although amazing at almost everything, they weren't amazing to be shredded. And so he decided, hey, I'm going to keep eating. Gained weight, got up to 120 kilograms, gained 30 kilos, 65 pounds or so. And the guy set records in powerlifting, deadlifting over 950 pounds in Australia. But because he's in Canada, didn't count as the record. And so I'm convinced if this guy said, I feel like deadlifting over 1,100 pounds and breaking the all-time powerlifting and strongman world record for the deadlift, guy could do it. Just give him a couple months.
12 hours out from World's Strongest Man. Hates day one. Cross your fingers that I don't fuck it up.
And so imagine this guy, it's 12 hours before the World's Strongest Man. He's just making a video. This is what I'm eating. He's drinking tons of beer, getting a buzz on, having cheesecake for dessert, just having a good old time. And so notice the carefree attitude. He's just having a good time. The guy is an athlete, amazing at everything he sets his mind. And so fast forward a few days, the guy's a champion. He's being interviewed by none other than Eddie Hall. You know, Eddie the Bulk Hall. He's bulking up to 400 pounds and then going to compete in a bodybuilding competition. Perhaps he should hire Mitchell Hooper. Who better than Mitchell Hooper to help prepare Eddie Hall for a bodybuilding show? Well, possibly Coach Greg. I don't know. Maybe. But if I had to pick someone that he would respect, has to be Mitchell Hooper. The guy's a strongman world champion and has set foot on stage. I think his first piece of advice would be, Eddie Hall, stop bulking and start the diet now.
Absolutely phenomenal. You dominated, and I mean dominated that final.
I mean, have you ever heard such praise from Eddie Hall? He shocked the world. He won in a dominating fashion, winning multiple events. It wasn't even close. The likes of Brian Shaw, the rest of them, they couldn't hold a torch to this guy. Perhaps we're looking at the best strongman competitor of all time. At 27 years of age, he's already won the Arnold's and the World's Strongest Man. And who's going to stop him? He's dominating. He's only going to get better. The guy's only been practicing for a couple of years.
To come out on top is amazing, and I don't take it for granted if this is the last time.
It's definitely not the last time for you.
And so Eddie Hall brings up the point, well, the plan was to just give it a try and then leave. But how can he leave now? He's tasted victory at the highest level. It's very hard to retire when you're on top. Imagine if Chris Bumstead had won his first Mr. Olympia title and said, yeah, I'm retired now. I liked winning and now I want to retire. And so despite what Mitchell Hooper says, which is strongman competition training, that is healthy. You don't have to bulk up and get fat to train for strongman. But at the top of the food chain, at this world's strongest man level, I'm pretty confident that most people probably taking a wee bit of PDs. Just a little bit. You know, to be the strongest person in the entire world. And so if you are, in fact, taking performance-enhancing drugs, it's not healthy. And this guy, he's a smart man. He does not want to abuse his body. And so I'm certain he's going to have to contemplate, well, how much is it worth it? How many years should I win this? I doubt he'll win 5 years in a row, retire, and go into boxing for 2 years, and then try to make a comeback. I don't think he's going to do that. I do, in fact, believe he values his health, and he's going to monitor his health to ensure he does not do too much damage. Notice I say too much damage. No matter what you try to do, if you are in fact using PDs, it's going to have some form of negative effect on the body.
One of the best ways for people to get out and get healthy is to participate in strongman. And so if I can inspire some people at the local level to get involved in strongman, that would mean the world to me.
And I do admire the passion of this guy trying to spread the positive word, promoting health and fitness to the masses. He wants more people to participate in his sport. Of course, he doesn't want people to be unhealthy. He doesn't want people to bulk up, force feed, and use performance-enhancing drugs. But he does say getting involved in the sport, training for the sport, it does in fact make you healthy. And so considering that this guy does marathons, plays golf, has done various sports, I do think he is in fact healthy. But if you do decide to get involved in strongman, powerlifting, bodybuilding, or many other sports, the temptation to use and or abuse performance-enhancing drugs is extreme. Once you discover exactly what other people are doing and you want to come out on top, it is very tempting. And so please try to say no. Do your best to avoid those situations. Remember, don't weigh rash decisions. Measure the pros and the cons. Never break the law. And only use these items with the approval and consent from your own doctor. And so there you have it. Mitchell Hooper is the first Canadian ever to win the World's Strongest Man. Please go and follow this guy. He walks the walk, talks the talk, and has the knowledge. He has his master's degree. Smart, intelligent guy. Please go and give him a follow. And don't forget about the friggin' cookbook. And we have the Harder Than Last line clothing line. So many sizes, various clothes, shorts, pants, shirts, hoodies. We got it. Head over to the website. So many supplements in the back. Head over there right now. The Circle Diet book, the training books, coaching plans by me and my team. Ending it here. Subscribe, click.